And we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Tuesday. Welcome to the Tuesday Talk. Welcome to Chap Nic Reacts. Welcome to the Chap Nic Show with Chap Nic. I am Chap Nic from Chap Nic Pictures with my co host here, Miss Cynthia. She has really never decided to tell us who she really is, but this is Cynthia. This is Cynthia next to me. She has never given us her portfolio. We just know that it's Cynthia Ngum. She used to rant on Facebook. So, yeah, that's all we know. We would like to know more. We would like to know more, but for some reason,
Thing is, for this is not about me,
it's
right?
nada.
But it's gonna be a day. I'm just gonna be telling you all about me. We're gonna have a little chat. You're gonna know everything.
Yes. So, how has been your weekend now, Mama?
Oh, weekend was great. It was Ramadan.
Yeah, a lot of chopping.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Do
chopping.
you know where I live?
Anyways, Ramadan, I was working. I was at home. I was doing everything except chopping. So, let the games begin. Today we are going to be talking a lot about stuff. We are going to be talking about there's something that happened in Nigeria. We are going to talk about that. Very, very disgusting stuff. There's some other stuff that celebrities in Cameroon were making a lot of noise. There was a wedding. There was a proposal which went very, very wrong. I'm probably one of the funniest people in this our Cameroon. And also, what else? What else are we talking about? Yes, there's a lot of celebrity news today, celebrity gossip and arguments over people's. Somebody dies and then they come and start arguing about whether it is private or it is whatever. So we are going to talk about that. If you are listening to this after the fact, or yeah, if you catch us live, please leave us a message. Like the video, follow the page, subscribe to the page. And if you are looking at this after, we'll put the things after so that people can look at it as well. So we like to have your input, like the video or whatever. So I think we will get into the very first topic of today, and that is the Ozoro. What I'm calling the Ozoro is the Ozoro Festival.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ozoro Festival. You know, everybody has been talking about it, right?
Yeah, and to get us into this, we are going to look at a small clip from our very good friend from the Next Generation Media Channel, Mrs. Enongene Doris, who did us a small thing.
Now, if you ask me, we need to pray for Nigeria. This has been a
Let me reduce this. I'm a times 2 person. So, yep.
channel, so you don't get to miss out any of our subsequent videos.
Yes, you should like.
Now, if you ask me, we need to pray for Nigeria. This has been a crazy year for them. I mean, from the genocide on Christians, the insane cases of sexual assault, the false allegations, and now this, a grape festival. For some background history on this, the Alado Festival, often referred to as the Ozoro Festival, is an Asian cultural fertility-based celebration held in the Aramudu community of the Ozoro Kingdom in Isoko North local government area of Delta State, Nigeria. Now, traditionally, it is designed to invoke blessings of fertility for couples facing challenges in childbirth. It involves symbolic acts such as community members dragging women who are married but have not yet conceived and pouring sand on them to invoke blessings of fertility. So this March, the festival took place once again. And as if pouring sand and terrorizing women every year on the festival day wasn't enough, the festival went into full-on sexual assault mode. Take a look at this.
Happening now in Nigeria, see how many boys
Going through the many videos.
Right. So, as we can see, there's a festival in Nigeria that is making a lot of waves. It is called the Ozoro Festival, which many people are terming now the Grape Festival in Nigeria. in yeah, well, when I was hearing Ozoro, the thing that was always coming to my mind was Isokolo.
Thank God. It's not Isokolom. I mean, I'm really proud of Cameroon.
Yeah,
Cameroon is a
what are
very.
your thoughts about that though? What are your thoughts about the festival and
Well,
what we are seeing there?
it's it's not just the festival. First of all, it's those small small boys, those children I saw there, who woke up, took their bath, brushed their teeth, and went out in search for girls to dehumanize. Like, look at them. They're 18 to. There's nobody there above 20. See them, they're kids. You see these children. This tells you how much they're already rooted into this so-called culture. This is what the not even African culture. Now, the issue is there is to see a child of 16, 17 who is already so much, not just not just affiliated, but so much invested into a thing like that.
Mm.
It tells how they're being brought up. And it only goes back to one thing: how all the systems put in place around here are always against women. Yeah, it's always like who, what kind of culture, like in the. Let's even think that there is a council that sits down to deliberate and find their culture or laws or whatsoever that binds them
Mm.
and keeps them together as a people. What would be the rationale behind that? Like, what would be the rationale? For example, people were on Facebook were trying to talk about the com tradition, right? Where a man dies and his sister's child succeeds him rather than his own child. Forgetting to, I don't subscribe to that either. But
Mm.
I'm saying that there is a rationale behind it, right?
Yeah.
It came from a time where men were heartbroken, where women began a woman could go out and make a child for another man under your roof and you would never know. There was no DNA or anything to ascertain the paternity of a child.
Mm-hmm.
So they rather found a way, no matter what, your sister's child will always carry the blood of the family. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
But they are not certain if that child calling him papa is really his. But at least you're certain that your sister's child is from the family.
Uh-huh.
That's the rationale. Now tell me, what would be the rationale behind setting up an entire festival to do this to people's children, to do this to women,
Anyways, I think
traumatize, rape?
yeah. Anyways, I
What
think
would be?
maybe we should kind of know the context behind the whole thing. Apparently, there is this festival. It's actually called the Aloedo Festival.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It's the Aloedo Festival, and what's that? I think. Well, let's get a little bit about the festival. It's called the Aloedo Festival, right?
Yeah.
And in Ozoro Delta State, it's a cultural, spiritual, Isoko tradition, not
Mm.
an excuse for violence. That is one of the things that maybe sometimes we really don't know about some of these things. It's not an excuse for violence. They not make it so that they are going to be violating women.
They
If
make it
if
so.
we want to, if we listen to what the organizers of the festival are saying, and it's a tradition, it's a cultural traditional event celebrated by Isoko people in Ozoro Delta State, linked to fertility, cleansing rites, and spiritual renewal. You know that fertility and some of these cleansing rites and stuff like that is usually it's a thing in our cultures. You always want to
I understand.
you
I
always
understand.
want to appeal to the gods of fertility, like the purpose and culture of and the significance, fertility and cleansing rites, spiritual renewal in the community, is it marking seasonal or cultural transitions, misusing misusing culture to harm. These people are funny. It's intended as a time to celebrate identity, unity, community, cultural heritage, blah blah blah, and it is not intended to harm women. Does not condone harassment or violence. Restriction is not justified. Restrictions do not justify assault, and this is even where there is a whole thing which kind of starts with all of this. It's
So
there.
how come everyone in the in the village or all the boys there are so accustomed to that part of the tradition? If it is not, I mean,
But you know,
what?
actually, because the thing is, first of all, from what I have learned from here, in fact, before we even want
You
to
know
even say
something? We could
something,
start by reading the comments we saw, right? This is a comment made by someone from there. This is what he had to say. I don't know if you can put up this post from Ngum Central.
yeah, just send it to me. Send me the link. But while you are sending it, I would like to at least say that rape, what is grape? Grape is bad in all its forms. Even though there are many people who are, who are giving very false. We don't know what the definition of grape is anymore. I think the
Yeah, I've
definition
sent it
of
to
grape
you.
has kind of been bastardized a lot. But grape in its original form is very bad. The kind of assault that we saw that was shown on screen is very very false, no matter in what conditions. But the thing is now we also have to understand that there are bad men outside here, and there are men who are bad, and
Nick.
we do not good men are not going to condone that. I don't even think that it is something that we need to.
Nick, read the comment.
That,
Maybe we should start from there, and you tell me about what men think.
yep.
And I really don't want to make this a gender war, but it's gonna go that way. But it's fine. Okay, now read the. She commented. She was reacting to the comment.
This is it.
It says, "A day or a week is set out in our culture prohibiting women from coming outside. Apparently, it's supposed to portray a live reality of how men treat rebellious women, the ones who fight systems placed by men. A festival aimed at reminding women of their divine duty to obey their men, to obey without questioning, as they would obey God. Feminist, blah, blah, blah. Rape culture, let's go out. We have the right, blah, blah, blah. This is what someone's son, this is what a woman bore in her womb for 9 months. That's what he had to say.
Well, anyways, I think in a cul- in a
And you're
in,
right.
no, in cultures where there are certain festivals and we have certain rules, right? There are certain rules. I think one of the rules, which was the super controversial rule, was that women do not have to be out. I think it was afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, because women
Right.
don't have a life. They don't have what to do in 2026 when we have bills to pay. We have our problems to. We don't have to go out because men are going out. That's why I ask you again. And okay, it's true. Not all men subscribe to this kind of violence,
For sure.
but
I would
it's,
even say most men do not subscribe to that
but
type
it
of
is
violence.
always a man doing it. Right?
Well, there are only two dangers now, so it's either a woman or
So
it's a
not
man.
not all men, but always a man will be out here either raping women, either
No, but the other thing too is because
supporting systems put in place to dehumanize, to traumatize, to assault, or to just ridicule women.
actually, I look at this almost as
Why would a culture, first of all, prohibit women from going outside?
I look at this as one of the symptoms of the things that have been happening in our society, the plight of men in the society. It shows you how desperate men have become, how bastardized men have become. So much so that they have to resort to stuff like that. Because we are even seeing this type of reaction now. But if you see what people who have actually lived in that area before, and it's not as if it is this year that this festival started. The festival have been around before, and if you actually see the reaction of those who have actually been at that festival for some time, they will tell you that is not how it used to be. Like, for example, we have this our guy here who has
I
actually
couldn't agree
lived.
more.
I was born and brought up in the city of Ozoro. I've experienced this festival all my life, and it has never happened like this before. This is what happened when
Yeah, this is somebody from the Delta State who actually grew up in Ozoro, and it's a man also who is telling you that this has never actually, this is not the way that it used to actually be, because it's not just today.
horny people who have been waiting for a moment to commit atrocities, finally get that moment. This is what happened. And sadly, sorry to say, right, a lot of men, if you are given the chance to actually grape a lady, many of you will take that chance. The only thing holding a lot of you from graping a lady is law. Is law.
Now, my point was kind of that what would bring men to get to this point where they are so lacking
Superiority.
that no is
I
that
sent you
that
another. I sent you another message.
is
I
that
sent you another link. Just open it and read it.
that they are
See,
so
and see.
lacking of these things that is making them to be like, okay, this is the path that we are going to take
Okay.
in order for us to
Read what you
get
said.
something, right? Yeah.
It says a day was set aside for women not to come outside. Why will you, as a woman, come outside that particular day? Or don't you realize that it is men that are protecting you on earth? And the moment they withdraw the protection, you're doomed. Prevention is better than cure. Did you hear that?
Well,
Did you hear that?
did he say something that is actually wrong?
Wow. What are they protecting me from? I mean, men are out there raping you and you say men are protecting
Well,
me on earth.
men are protecting you from other men, right?
This is so fucking ridiculous.
But men are
protecting me from
other
men. I don't need men to protect me. I just need you to be responsible humans. I just need you to be a decent human. I don't need you to. What do I need protection from?
But
From a bear?
I actually
No, they wouldn't have
think
bears.
that I actually think that this could serve as a reminder, no matter how crazy it is, no matter how fucked up it is.
Someone
that-
said even the justice that is gonna be gotten for the victims will not be achieved without men. I'm like, so you could just
Well, yeah, but that is actually very true. Even though it's very real and it is kind of graphic to hear, but it is actually very true. There's no protection that is going to happen without men.
protection from what? That's
Yes,
what I'm asking you.
The crime that is always going to happen
By
is
who?
still going to be perpetrated by men.
Okay.
So sometimes we need to be reminded that this world outside is not a good world. And we need men to protect us from all the badness that is outside there. We need good men
We
to
need
protect
men
us.
to protect us from men.
Yes, we need good men to protect us from all the badness
No,
that
we just
we find
need
out
people
there.
to be.
Well, the thing is, you
Listen.
cannot pacify everybody. You cannot pacify the most part of people because
Just
criminals-
we cannot pacify
because
men.
the criminals are not going to be pacified, and most criminals are going to be men. Yes, but you cannot pacify men. And sometimes I think modern culture has made things look super easy, so much so that feminists have started saying that they don't need men for anything, which has been a thing.
Say, feminists are
Right.
not say.
Which has kind of been a thing. When feminists start saying that they don't need men for anything, and then they see something like this happen, where it's like, okay, men, they have given you people a rule that during this time you guys should not come out during this time, and you take it on yourself.
So the
that no,
men,
because
the,
you
the
have rights.
good men did not just say, why should, hey, bad men, why did you make this rule? Why are you going to ask these women to stay indoors? Don't they have a life of their own? And what happened to their autonomy? What happened to their agency and everything? Why would you ask them not to step out for a whole festival? How long do these festivals even last? A week or so?
Yeah,
And then there's, is that not how you should protect us? Why should it be when, first of all, you've restricted our everything?
The protection was to tell you that, guys, please do not come out during this time, because this is the time that these bad men are outside.
You see what you're saying?
So that is the
You see?
protection, right?
No,
But now, if you decide that you are not going to be protected because you are a woman boss or whatever, then that is one thing, right? If it is something that you do not know and all, that's another thing. But then again, like I said, it's very awful. It's crazy that people have to go to this extent to do certain things. But it's crazy that people have to go up to this extent to do some type of things. But it should kind of serve. In fact, if I were a woman, I would be looking at this like, damn. So that means that we probably still need some of these people to protect us from these bad people, because there are a lot of bad people out here.
it's appalling.
There are a lot of bad people out here, and even though it is crazy,
Okay, if you were really here, okay, so as we sit here, you feel like you have the obligation to protect me, right?
sure.
Okay, because you're a man. That's what I don't feel like you have any obligation. I don't need protection from you,
Yeah,
but it's okay.
but if
But that's what you think,
no, but the thing is,
and that's
if,
what you believe, right? So now I'm asking you, what instead of sitting here and trying to justify why there should even be a culture that is going to put women in a vulnerable situation that will make you surface as a god to save them.
No, the
You know
thing
this
is,
god complex.
I'm not
Why
justifying
are
it,
you not here condemning the fact that there should be no culture that is supposed to bind women or restrict women to one background in a world where women have their own problems, where women have their own fights, they have their own struggles, their own sacrifices and everything. There should be no culture that is supposed to restrict women to a background for 1 week for no reason. Why are you not here saying that?
No,
You're rather concerned about the fact that don't the nobody should go that because
No,
okay.
that was it. I think that was even the first thing that I said. That raping anybody is bad in any
Yes,
circumstance.
you condemn the rape, but you've not condemned the culture that said that women should not go out. This is somebody here saying that the women went out of headstrong because they were being rebellious.
And also, that is why I started by showing this. That first of all, the culture is not because it's not a culture that is made to relegate women behind. It's a culture which is not intended to harm women. It's a culture that is a traditional cultural event which celebrates people, and it's a fertility and cleansing rights for fertility and cleansing rights. So that is the actual.
Women are not supposed to be there. You why are you taking out that?
Fertility and cleansing rights is for
because
for
you
women.
people will cleanse for the women. That's what it means now.
No, but fertility and cleansing rights is for the women. It's for the benefit of the. In fact, it's for the benefit of the general.
But the
people.
women will not be there.
But now the only. That's what I said. The thing about it, which is probably a little bit crazy, is that. But then again, it's cultural. It's African culture and stuff. I think there was a time when they were saying that women should not eat yolk of.
Yeah, women.
The yolk.
That's
of
what
this
I'm saying.
Like those cultural things. I don't even know. Maybe some elders are going to come and tell us the story behind some of those cultural
because
stories.
all systems put in place in this metric we live in are always against women.
Yeah,
from culture, whatever you call. I don't even know how is that even culture. Anyway, from tradition to religion to politics or whatever it is, they are always against women.
I think
if religion does not create a god that is a man, and then assigns clergy only to men and talk to men to talk to women because women are not wanting to hear from him.
I think you feel like they're creating things which are only for men or only for women. Just because I think women are forgetting their actual role in society, which are to be in fact all the feminine traits that you can think about.
So if
which
this
is
God,
the propagation of the human race,
no wahala. So
like
if
that.
God had endorsed us in clergy, it will stop us from.
Well, that would be is it antithetical? That would be contrary to the nature of God, actually. Because
why? Who created that nature of God? You men.
Well, it's just like we used to say. There's a hierarchy. There's God, man,
created
woman,
by men.
all.
That's what I'm saying. All systems.
So that is
every metric you see around here is against the woman.
Yeah,
completely against her. The woman should shut up. She should not speak when men are speaking. She should adorn herself in modest apparel. She should this. There is never.
Most of those things are for the protection of women. That is why I'm saying that no matter how. Do you know how
I walk into a room full of women? Naked, and when I walk into the room, they'll be like, "Oh gosh, I love your color, I love your legs."
Yeah, right.
This.
Don't do that with men.
Right, but yeah, so what protection of women from what?
Yeah,
from men.
Yes, from bad men, because you will do that in a room of good men, and they'll be like, "Oh, don't do that."
There is no room
go and get something.
of what kind of men that I'm gonna walk in naked and they're gonna be like,
No, if you knew they were good men, you could probably do that, and they'll be like, "Oh. Don't kill our eyes here. Go and put something on." But if you did that when you don't know the men, and there might be some bad men inside, and the bad man comes out to grab you because it has gingered him in some type of way, because men are also animalistic like that. It has gingered him. His third brain has thought whatever he wants to think.
The thing is,
and he does his action that he has to do.
It's not just men who are animalistic. Do you get?
Yes,
it is humans.
But the thing
is, we are animals, right? We're just higher beings. We are animals. So the fact that women have coordinated themselves, embrace the social side of their existence more, doesn't mean that they cannot be animalistic.
Well, the
Women
thing
too
is,
would have gotten out
yeah,
there and
no.
begin. But
Women,
no, so you can just choose to be like women. Just be responsible people, and everybody's gonna live.
wait, did you just hear what you said? That we should just choose to be like women.
Yes, responsible,
Is it-
decent,
Is it? That's why I'm saying that.
accommodating.
No, that's why I'm saying that we have forgotten. Women are forgetting the role that they actually have to play in the society. That is the huge problem in all of this thing. Women are forgetting the
How
role that
is-
they actually have to
How
play
is
in the
how is
society.
a man being civilized mean that he has forgotten? How does a man being civilized mean that?
You mean how does a woman showing masculine traits?
Which masculine trait are you talking about? I say women have embraced the fact that they are social beings.
Women have always been social beings.
They're empathetic. Because you keep saying men are animalistic. That's what I'm telling you, that everybody has a degree of animalism in them. We can all be animalistic. But because women have realized that we have a dual nature, we are not just animals, but we are supreme beings. We are higher beings.
Right.
So we have embraced the side of us that makes us social beings, makes us rational beings. We've embraced empathy. We've embraced the logic. We've embraced reasoning.
No, but
And they were better people. Why can you not just do that? You
No,
stick to the fact, no, we're animalistic.
But the thing
Because
is,
you don't
but
want...
the thing is, between men and women, who are more animalistic than the other? Men are a lot more
This
animalistic.
is a whole festival. Yeah, that's it. It
Yeah.
speaks for itself.
Men are a lot more animalistic.
Why?
And men are telling you that is that. Please, when all these animals are coming out, please, you people should stay in your houses, because this is the law, and it is going to. These bad people are going to take it in a bad way, and are going to do you bad things. So please stay in your house for your safety. But our women decided, nah, who are you people to tell us to stay in the house? We are going to go and do whatever we are going to go and do. Because even these people who are getting into these situations, who is still getting them out of it? It's mostly men who are coming to still get them out of it.
You create a
Right.
problem. You put people in it, and then
No, it wouldn't have been a
pretend
now it wouldn't have been a problem if the women just obeyed.
and stayed home. And stayed home.
Obeyed and stayed home.
Of
Just
course.
follow the rules.
Of course.
Like it's
Of
almost like
course.
just follow the rules
I
and
mean,
don't cross the road when the light is red.
how different.
Don't say that you have rights and you come and cross the road when the light is red.
How
That is
di-
just
How
when the
different
light
are
is-
we
yes.
from puppets? Why should we not stay home? I mean, we have to stay home.
Well, there are rules. There are rules for a lot of things.
Yeah,
There
like
are rules
this
for a lot
one.
of things.
Otherwise
Like
we're
one of
gonna
the
get
rules
raped.
that they kind of give, even though I don't condone the rule. I don't
No,
like
you
the
are.
rule.
That's what you're doing here.
No, I'm just saying that this is reality. In real life, there are rules for many things, and if you do not respect those rules, there might be consequences for the rules. Not to say that that is good,
Let me tell you
because
something.
what has happened there is not good, and I do not condone it.
Let me tell you something.
But somewhere it kind
You
of
see
has
this
to
your
remind-
argument of men being animalistic and some men being this and that. It's not valid, right? I'm saying this because these people do what they do because they're in Africa, where we have little or no law enforcement. These same people, you send them to America, send them to Europe, and they will never
Well,
put a finger on a woman. They can discipline themselves when they see that there is a punishment awaiting them. So these people can decide to just be responsible people, and the world will be a peaceful and a better place. And they say, no, women must suffer for us to feel like we are supreme.
you
That
know,
is just it.
I wouldn't even say that there has been no consequences, because if you listen to
has confirmed the
Right,
arrest
yeah.
of 11 additional
How
suspects
much?
in connection with this incident at Oramudu quarters in Isoko North local government area of the state. Now,
So-
this follows the
so
Let me tell you something.
the police has recognized that it's a crime, and they are going to be
Let me
putting people
tell
to
you
the book.
how the average man. There was a day, right? I was going to I was going to Hippodrome. I don't know if you know where Hippodrome is there in town.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was going to Hippodrome. I was really in a hurry. I boarded a taxi, and then you know how we do it here. Two people have to sit in front.
Yeah, to
And the car is a really small car. So the person seated next to me was really fat, like the plus sized. I had to sit so close to the driver that when he is driving, his hand, his elbow, was gonna press my breast. It was so uncomfortable. I would try to push it, but I felt that it was just it was just an unfortunate situation in affecting all of us in that tight space. Like it was not it's not something he premeditated, or that's not what he wanted, if not for the tight situation we were all in.
Yeah.
So I didn't make a fight out of it. I would just try to pull myself away. I didn't shout at him. He didn't even apologize for it, and I wasn't expecting it. Now we got to a certain point, and this person left. They dropped or alighted somewhere.
Yeah.
We continued, and then when it was time for me to alight from the vehicle, I give him my money, and he was like, "Please give me your number so we'll talk about this later." I was like, "So you did this intentionally?" I grew red. No, that's to tell you that this is how men.
This is how bad men, right? So he's not a good man. He's a bad man.
Say there is no girl above 20 who has not been sexually assaulted or harassed. There is no one.
Well, I'm not going to.
In Africa.
In fact, I'm not going to really defend. In fact, I'm not going to defend the taxi man, but you would understand that those were circumstances, and more to that.
That's why I said I wasn't angry at first, and I wasn't even holding him to anything at first.
Yeah. So why did you get angry after?
Because when he asked for my number, I knew that this man was doing this. He was happy that situation.
Why would you think that maybe it was an unfortunate, or it was an awkward situation? But remember, you didn't make it awkward when that was happening.
No, I tried several times, but I didn't. No, I was pushing his hand.
I mean, you didn't make it obviously awkward. That was something that you were not very comfortable with.
No, I made it.
You might have.
I just didn't like shout or insult him or be like, "Stop this," because of the way we were in a taxi. I tried my best to tell, and moreover, even no matter how I turned myself, the other breast was on the other side.
Yeah, because I'm just saying that he might have thought that maybe you were fine with it, and maybe you were feeling him. So maybe he was like, "Let me shoot my shot as you are going." He was shooting his shot. So he cannot really be like, that was an unfortunate situation or whatever. If he was a bad man, he would have probably taken a lot more advantage some type of way. I don't know, but at least he was.
You know what happened?
He was honest enough to shoot his shot and be like, maybe there's something that wanted to happen. Not to say that, and I'm not denying that there are many of those cases that happen in those type of situations which are ill mind, which they are looking at it as small profitage. I can remember that a lot of Okada men that when they carry a woman behind, they are usually braking very abruptly, even when it is unnecessary, because they have small neuros around, so they need to feed their neuros. So that you are going to probably categorize in inappropriate touching or inappropriate behavior or whatever. But to bring it again back to my point, that is men have kind of been put down a lot in the society, so much so that at one point it would be
put down.
Yes.
Put down how?
Everything in our media is geared towards the happiness of a woman. Everything in our society is looked at through.
The first time women are trying to
Nah, I think most of our media, really, most of the media, everything is through the woman's lens. How it has to be seen so that it doesn't come off as bad to the woman, so that it protects the woman, all these type of things. There's really nothing. There's nothing out there like a men's right advocacy stuff or anything.
Because you people made all the laws. I know why are you taking the laws?
Yeah, but the thing is, those laws, if you are thinking that those laws affect the woman poorly, they affect the man as well. Maybe even twice as poorly as the woman.
How, for example? No, we should speak with facts. I want to know which laws put by men were there to make men feel worse.
Oh, let me even ask it this way: that do you think there's any law that is made for the man, which is not made? There's any law that is made for the man?
This is one we're talking about here.
That's not a law. It's a cultural festival where they have just been like
So
this. It's not a woman thing.
what is
That's a
the law
cultural
to
thing.
you? What is the law? It's a legal.
And more to that, what was done there is a crime, and just as I've shown, they are catching those people for their crimes. The police is on their case, and they're catching them, and they're putting them in prison. They are arresting
Listen,
them.
if you want
So,
to know how,
so if the law, there's a law against sexual
from
harassment. So
time
when they
immemorial, before time could even be tracked or traced, women have always been victims. Let's even just talk about like the Bible.
right,
Religion was here even before we had our legal systems, right? The Bible was here, and even our legal systems were even drawn from it. When the woman, this is why I say men will make. What was that?
yeah, go ahead,
Don't scare me like that again.
go ahead.
Men will make laws, right? Or they will not even laws. They will create systems, put you in danger, and then turn around to pretend like they're coming to save you from the same system they created. For example, let's talk about the woman who was brought to Jesus to be stoned to death for adultery. Till today, the Bible hasn't told us who she committed adultery with. No, they brought a woman to stone her to death, and then Jesus, a man, was like, let he without sin cast the first stone. And then we'll go down on our knees. Hail Jesus, thank you, you're a merciful God. You're this. Who gave the laws? Jesus. He's God. It was the laws of the Old Testament that they were practicing. The same laws given to Moses by the Abba Father. He came now to say, let he without sin cast. You see, that's what men do. They will create systems and then put you in danger, and then turn around to save some two people, and then you see them now. Oh, men are the saviors. Even the justice you claim to, you cannot have it without men.
Would you prefer that women should be the lawmakers?
I would prefer that everybody should be responsible. People should just be decent.
Everybody cannot be decent. We are always going to have bad people.
Yeah,
on
because
this earth.
because of the systems you made.
No, it's not the systems we made. We are human. There are bad humans. There are good humans.
How did
So we are always going to have bad people on this earth. We are going to always.
Why are the bad people always men?
Because they have a higher tendency to be more violent. They have a higher tendency to.
Because they have the power.
Sure,
They have
that's
the
the way.
power
That's just the way that we were made.
superiority complex.
And women have to remember that they are the weaker sex. So
Weaker in what? Weaker in terms of what?
weaker
Physical
physically,
strength.
yes, weaker physically, even mentally. Well, yeah.
So these weaker women are the ones that convey safety to the world. These weaker people, these weaker women are talking about the ones that ensure, if when I'm going home and I meet women on the way, I am calm. Immediately I see a man, anxiety picks.
That's what I'm
Picks
saying,
up
that women are the weaker
So
sex.
that's what weakness is to you. That's what weakness is to you.
If just by seeing a man, you're already in your shell. Or
If
whatever.
I see a dog, I'm on my heels, I'm running.
I.e., you
So
have the
that's
weaker
the
sex.
strength. Animalism. It's strength.
You're just making my point for me now. Women are the weaker sex.
You were not strong enough to beat the animalistic instincts in you is what makes you stronger. Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please.
Well, anyways, like I was saying, of course, what happened during the festival was very wrong, and it doesn't give anybody the right to become an animal. In that case, you don't need to do that in order to have women, and women kind of have to. In fact, I think the lesson that women should take from here is that there are a lot of bad people outside, and you should learn how to obey. At least obey a man. Obey.
Not everybody
obey.
has man.
That's what I'm saying. Obey. It's not just obey for those who have husbands or boyfriends and all. Obey them.
So,
Those
so
who have
you
bro-
who don't, people like
those
us
who
who
have-
don't have husband,
yes,
boyfriend.
those who have
Now we
big
correct for
brothers.
God these things.
No, those who have those who have big
Jesus
brothers, those who have big brothers and fathers, obey your fathers.
If you're an
Obey your
only
big
child
brother.
and you're a girl, and maybe your
Well,
mom is a single mom, just
yeah,
leave
inside
it.
them.
Just leave it. There's no hope for you.
Oh, yeah, inside them.
You're intended.
Because the world is a tough place.
Yeah.
The world is a very violent place.
Men could do better.
You need to look for a Lord protector.
Men could do better.
Well, yeah, bad men could do better, but you're not going to come and give lessons to bad men. So
Men could do better. See, these men don't have and like you make it sound like it is like an innate problem, right? That men are inherently this way.
yeah,
No.
men are inherently violent.
No, if when they go to America, when they go to Europe, we don't see it.
Even in
They
America,
go and
even
they
Europe,
calm
they're still
down.
violent.
They are so. Can you? These same men carry them. I mean, all these men with this whatever is carry those men to Europe and see if they'll even greet a girl. They will not. They
yeah,
will not.
yeah, well, because they're afraid of the law now. Just like
they don't
our
want to be
bro-
deported.
just like
they
our
know
brother-
how they know the strong
Yeah, but if
consequences
you are
that
going
follow
to
it.
America,
So there is no inherency in that.
if you are going to America,
It's
you are
just
going
sheer
to
wickedness.
Europe or whatever, and seeing the men who are there are also still violent.
Okay, that's
even
it.
even though there's
That's
the
it.
law, so men, it's inherent for men to be violent. So you should be very thankful to having a good man by your side and obey that good man, because he understands that violence and he's the best person to protect you from that violence. That's what I've been saying since now. That's what I've been saying since.
He ended by praising them, by still praising me.
That's what I've been saying since. They should protect. Our role. We know that our role is to protect you guys. So, yeah. So that's good. Now that we have gone, that was a very. In fact, it's as if today we are living back from sour topic to sour topic.
Yeah.
So, I think we have our Nora Brown here. This is
Okay.
you are going to tell us about what is happening here, because this kind of
Let me read
celebrity
this.
gossip like that.
Let me read.
You part of
I
us.
never knew this guy G4 pictured. I just got from Kimby's blog that he was battling with sickle cell. Such a voice that could spread the word couldn't spread the word for fear of being stigmatized. I am sure the load would have been lighter if he spoke up. But the question is, why speak up when you'll be mocked? When they'll scream out that you're seeking for pity, attention? Why speak up to a community that will break you with labels instead of understanding? The load is heavier when you cover it up in a very small, limited circle. Sometimes I don't blame these warriors for hiding their statues, because watching how, as a voice for them, I get bullied to silence, and the community uses sickle cell to shut me up. How will people build courage to speak up then? Rest in power, warrior, area mama number 1 of Cameroon. All right, this is Nora Brown writing. He was writing this as some sort of, I don't know, is it tribute or whatever, to G4. G4 was a guy I only got to know after his demise. His soul rest in peace. And he was, like she said, a sickle cell warrior, a survivor. And he was a gospel artist. And he was much more than that. He was a husband. He was a father. And I think a manager somewhere else. So, but I just know that he was way more than his sickle cell stages. And Nora Brown too didn't know him. And I understand why she's saying that, because she's been one of the loudest voices as concerns as sickle cell awareness is concerned, right? On our social media space, she's been like the loudest voices. So it's very difficult for her not to know a fellow warrior, because they always reach out to her. She gives them hope. I think she's in her 50s or so. So, and you know the prejudice, the stigma, and everything surrounding sick class. So she gives hope to sick class around. She gives not just hope, aid, financial aid, and much more.
Yeah.
So I can understand if she's shocked that she didn't get to know that someone like G4 was a sickle cell warrior, because he too was a popular figure. He was a public figure. And both of them could have merged their voices to even echo louder.
Yeah.
And so I agree with her. I agree with her because I always support her fight against
Against sickle cell.
yeah, because she basically is creating awareness every day. She's urging people, go for your hemoglobin electrophoresis, know what your genotype is, know who to marry, don't get a sickler because this is what the reality of a sickler. She says her life when she's dealing with crisis.
Is she a sickle? She's a sickle cell.
Yeah, she's a sicker. She has a very pathetic story. I think she said her life one time. All her siblings died but one because they were all sicklers and so on. She's the only surviving sibling child of her parents right now with sickle, and she has sickle cell.
Yeah.
All her other siblings were also warriors and they died, except one who was not, and she's still alive. So she shares her story all the time. And there's this other guy too. Shout out to you, Boris. Boris too is a sickle cell warrior. Both of them are very loud on media concerning this condition.
Yeah.
And so she felt that a guy like G4 with his influence and probably affluence should have merged voices with hers. And I agree. So now this very woman, Vicky Fokala.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how Vicky is. Sometimes she's just abnormally pompous and so I don't like the fact that she's most times insensitive. She just comes, this new flex on social media to say I'm blunt, which is another way of being mean, to say I'm mean or to say I'm insensitive or do you understand? That I think that's how she always, most times that's how she comes off. So she wrote, Nara Brown official, there's a difference between hiding and private. Are, she's referring to G4, and his family were private about his situation. He didn't have to speak it out loud on social media. It wasn't a stigma problem, and I am yet to see one sickler stigmatized. This is very wrong to say sicklers are not stigmatized. I'm telling you this because I am not a sickler, right? But I am a carrier. I am an AS. Yeah, and I've been stigmatized for it. How was I? There's this guy I dated like one time, right? And then I didn't even like the guy like that. And I'm glad I didn't.
Why are you dating guys that you don't like?
At the time, not now, not that, but at least at that time, I didn't like him like that. But he was, first of all, the age disparity was quite really large. He was way older than me. And then he woke up and he was like, marriage for marriage. I wasn't even gonna marry him, by the way. So I was just like, let's talk about genotype. What's your genotype? And he was like, what's that? I was like, I am AS. Do you know, have you ever had hemoglobin electrophoresis before? And he goes, we'll not get that kind of thing for our family. No, we'll not get for our family. That kind of thing, no. I was like, yeah? No. I beg. If not so, I don't go if you bring person we get that kind of thing. Me, you can't put them for our family. No, me go be the first. I was like, see this what? You don't even know if you're a carrier. You just assuming that I'm some sort of bad luck that you're going to bring to you. Who even want to marry you? So that now that's me being stigmatized for being AS. Then imagine if a fellow sickler what should have gone through, what her life is. I don't even care about that. For I'm just sharing this story, right? So to say that I'm yet to see is one sickler stigmatized is very wrong. That's invalidating the experience of a sickler. And I know that in as much as life is hard, I think and I believe from what I've seen that it is 4 to 10 times harder for a sickler, especially a woman.
Mean harder in what way?
The fact that they have to go through that pain spontaneously because it just comes at any time. I know men that will not just date a girl just because she's sickler. Nah, they don't want to go through that. And me too, I wouldn't, even me as a woman. Sometimes I really don't want to be so close friends because I don't want to be the one you call every moment. Come on. So yes, they're really facing that struggle. And then to come online.
Yeah, go ahead.
To come online for someone of your caliber with a platform to say that you're yet to see a stickler being stigmatized is the height of insensitivity. Vicky Ayomide Fokala. That was wrong. And then she goes further. She says, I feel this blame narrative is overpushed and the sounds and some sounds sometimes like a pity party. Plus, Ari was over 40. What do you mean by he was over 40? Is it okay to die after 40? He had beat that shit up. What do you mean? How do we beat sickle cell up? How do we beat that shit up? How do they beat sickle cell up? Maybe you should teach us so that this sickle, because sickle will give anything to wake up one day and be sickle cell free, right?
Well, yeah.
She said he had beat that shit up, but other circumstances led to his death. Vicky, with how much education you claim to have, this is appalling. And then she goes further. I pray we grow above the fact that everyone has to be a crybaby. You're reducing a sickle cell crisis to a crybaby phenomenon. No, this is the height of insensitivity and nonchalance. I hate that everyone. I pray we grow above the fact that everyone has to be a crybaby to be noticed in situations. Like there is somebody out there who is happy that they have sickle cell just because they want to be noticed. I'm not a sickle cell warrior. I am a sickle cell carrier, but I forgive you. I forgive you.
Anyways, at least for one thing I can I don't like. For one thing, I can say there are a lot of people still who are not very versed with the plight of the sickler.
Yeah.
Right, there are a lot of people who are not very versed with the plight of a sickler. But I don't even think that people who suffer from sickle cell or sicklers are even crybabies like that. They don't
express how much
usually-
pain they go
Yes,
through.
that because, anyways, we learned that their pain tolerance because of their illness actually is very high. That means the amount of pain that they're even able to support is very high. But even
Compared to the average human, exactly.
yeah, but even going to stigmatization, the only thing is when I see stigmatization, I don't really know what they mean. For example, the whole thing about dating somebody with AS or knowing your genotype or whatever, it's like you need to know what you can handle for the gram. It's like you have to be able to decide, okay, you would like to, you might want to date a sickler, and you know the things that are going to come with dating a sickler or getting married to a sickler.
True.
And whether you get power for
supporter.
supporter.
But now that's what I'm asking you. Okay, how many people on an average do bring themselves to that point where they want to date this particular sickler? Most times sicklers go through their lives without ever having a relationship. Do you know that?
Well, yeah.
Well, sometimes they develop wounds or conditions caused by the sickle cell that sometimes it leaves them handicapped or
because it sucks too, because I think even a sickle cell being a sickler could even be considered as a handicap,
disability.
As a
yes,
disability.
I see it as a disability.
Yeah, and that's just a life of people who live with disabilities. Like so
are you saying that disabled are not stigmatized?
Stigmatized is a big word. Stigmatized is a big word. It's
really?
It's like they are
really.
No, well, when they say stigmatized to me, right, I look at it almost like
even growing up as a child, I made fun of people I saw hopping on one leg because they had just one leg. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
I had to grow up into some kind of consciousness and knowledge to know that I have to show empathy. But children will make fun of people with disabilities. I mean, children. They hear it from their parents, what the parents say, and they'll just say it loud in public because they don't even know the implications of what they say. So, disabled are really, really stigmatized. And sicklers are not exempted. They are. So, for a woman, and if this came from one illiterate or one lay person, I wouldn't really have much to say, but this Vicky has a very huge platform. To come out to say something like this is unacceptable.
Anyways, I think and apparently this was the reply that Vicky came on.
Bonsoir. Ça va bien?
Yep, and then Vicky Nora Brown came back and was like, I have seen a few comments because of I have seen a few comments because of a post I made. Because of a post I made trying to show light, trying to shine light on stigmatization. I never said the late guy was stigmatized, etc. Oh yeah, I simply said maybe he was and couldn't speak out, and I highlighted the dangers of keeping quiet. I just think that this stigmatized is a very big word, and maybe what I wanted to even do was I wanted to look for the definition of stigmatization.
Okay.
Definition. Stigma. What the fuck?
It's in French now.
Why is this thing in
Translate
French?
it.
It's because nah shit. There it is. Stigmatization. Yes, the action of describing. This is the action of describing. The action of describing or regarding someone or something as worthy of disgrace or great disapproval. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it, right?
That's why I was like, this is a very big word because I actually think when somebody hears that somebody is a sickler, they actually feel sorry for the person more often than not, than look at the person as worthy of disgrace or disapproval or great disapproval. That's why I was like, yeah, stigmatization is a big word. And of course, I know that there are many people who are kind of ignorant when it comes to matters of when it comes to matters of sickle cell. But to say that they are being stigmatized, I don't really know. I don't really know, and I don't really think so, because I'm sure we have seen cases where uh, we have probably seen cases where a person with who is who has sickle cell is maybe not your cup of tea. You don't want to date somebody who is a sickler because you
Yeah.
don't want your children to be sicklers or to be carriers. So you don't want your grandchildren to be in that realm. But I don't think I will call that stigmatization, because I think that's the only example that I think that comes to mind. I don't know what other form of stigmatization uh, do sicklers face apart from maybe dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What other form do they face? Please educate me.
Children.
I'm not very
See,
versed with that. So please
before
educate
I
me.
knew what was sickle cell, right? Before I even knew I was growing up as a child, there's this child who we had in class. Her name was Emanuela. She was a sickler, but at the time I did not know. We were kids that were like primary 1, primary 2, primary 3. She was always looking cranky because she was always sick. I don't know if at that time she was not yet diagnosed, or maybe, some these parents really go for a very long time before, especially back then, before actually getting an actual diagnosis.
Yeah.
We will not include her in our pleas.
Okay.
She looks so scary. Even if she gave me, even if she brought her snacks to school, right?
Yeah.
And give me, I will not be able to take it because she looks so unusual. She looked so. I was scared that through that biscuit that she's giving me, that thing that is making her to look like that can do me too.
Yeah, I think that's like a normal reaction for any child facing something which they cannot
So that's
explain.
stigmatization. That's me. That's stigmatizing them.
No, it's not. You're not stigmatizing them because they are a sickler. You are just guarding yourself from something you don't understand.
But that's
I
it.
don't
Most
think.
people don't understand sickness, and that's the reason they're being stigmatized the most.
That's what I said. That is like that's a very huge. That's a big word. I think it's
Do
you're kind of
okay,
giving.
so why then would you categorize a man saying that he's not gonna bring me to his family because they don't have such a thing in their family? How will you categorize that one as stigmatization if you're not gonna
Well,
see this
I'm
one
going.
stigmatization? Because
I'm
he
probably
does
going.
not even understand
I
what.
don't even think that that's a stigmatization. That is just preference.
No, they don't get that kind of sick for their family. You know,
Well,
I do understand.
that's like probably it's almost like okay, you discover that the person that you want to date or you want to get with is an ashawo, and you're like, hey,
No,
we no get we
that's
ashawo there for our
way
family.
different. That's way different.
Yeah,
Sickle cell is a condition. That is my being. Do you understand?
no,
It's not a decision.
I'm
It's
likening it to the same reaction that he might get after he discovers that
no,
somebody is an ashawo. Will you say that he's stigmatizing the ashawo?
no. I'm telling you
Alright.
that it's not the same thing. First of all, people choose to be a shawo.
Yeah, but whether you choose it or don't choose it, it's still the same reaction, right?
God.
It's still the same reaction, so that means
It is very different. Okay, if that's what you're gonna say, then there's nothing like stigmatization.
no, that's why now.
Then you're saying that there's nothing like stigmatization. Do you know that there are people who would want to date you as a sickler? Okay, you remember the last time I said people go to date people with disabilities because they feel safe. Do you know you want to date somebody with as a sickler just because you feel like he has no options and he's gonna worship you because you're doing him a favor? Do you know that there are sicklers who go through that?
No, the thing is actually because I've been around C class for a while, right? One of my very good friends is a sickler. We just reconnected not too long ago. It was quite funny. But anyways, because when you say stigma, I really don't see it because she was like
Maybe there's no stigma in
she
the
was
world
like
then.
the most pampered person because of her condition. She was like the most taken care of person.
She's
the
just
most pampered
that's
and
even
all.
stigma. Why are you pampering her?
Yes,
Because she's
because
a
she's
sick.
fragile. Nah.
You just pampering her. Hey, no can you for yeah. So would you go with this? You know, go no.
No, because
If
she's
it-
why? Because she's fragile. Of course, if your life is not going to be normal, quote unquote, if you are a sickler,
Of course.
but because and if your life is not normal, you're not going to be treated normally. But the fact that you are not being treated normally doesn't necessarily mean that you are being stigmatized.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. That maybe there is no stigmatization in the world, though.
No, I
Because
think
in every situation, that's what's going. Okay, what is stigma then?
no. That's why I was asking. What forms of stigma do do sicklers actually face? Because I don't know.
Let me tell you something. I dated a guy one time now. My most the relationship that nearly took my life. I dated this guy. His sister was a sickler, right?
Mhm.
And she's really a fighter. Like she's one of the strongest people I know.
Mhm.
I have not spoken to her in years, but I hope that she's fine. Her family was like, just try carry a belly. Yes, because they never saw any more that could come from her. They just wanted her to find maybe a guy who was AA to get her pregnant, so that she could at least just hold on to that. I'm telling you. And finally, she had to succumb to that.
Yeah, that's just
You,
stupid.
you don't know how they look at people. Like the mom is this kind of hardworking woman, right? She's this kind of woman who knows how to fight for a child. She fought for the other children. I saw her fight. Like she inspires me to today. Except that one. That one was just relegated to stay back home. I mean, there's nowhere you're going to. It's all about you. If you see, when I see a sickler who's making exploits, I'm so proud. I'm so proud because they must have pushed themselves so much. I mean, imagine someone like me. I am not sick. I'm not sick, at least compared to a sickler. I'm not sick, and then I just have me to figure out and everything. And I still find this so much difficulty. And then there's a person dealing with sickle cell who still braves all odds to do exploits. I'm so proud of you. In a world where, see, Even in a job setting, if an employer knows that you're sickle cell, it's gonna take a lot for you to get that job. And I'm telling you this
Right.
with certainty.
So, anyways, I was kind
With
of
certainty, they have to fight thrice as hard as the average person for every bit of opportunity they get.
because I was kind of finding it very difficult to actually get the types of stigmas that C class actually go to. So I went to our friend. Well, I was looking for Chat GPT, but Chat GPT was not available. He was not in the house. So when I asked Google, because I actually think that sickle cell patients, people with sickle cell, people living with sickle cell, they actually get stigmatized in one way or the other. But sometimes,
We're not having comments today.
yeah, not yet. There was actually somebody who wanted to join the stream on TikTok, but that's not the type of stream we are doing now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we have seen this with forms of stigma that individuals with sickle cell face include public stigma or negative labeling. Anyways, affected individuals are often perceived as weak, lazy, or looking for attention
And that's what I said.
when they express pain.
When you're pampering her, this is what you're doing.
You're pampering her because she's
Subconsciously, this is what you're doing.
perceived as weak, but they're actually weak. More often than not,
But
they are
it's
weak.
just a stigma. That's what I'm saying.
Alright. Lazy. Well, lazy could be the stigma. It's like, okay, yeah, if they keep on calling you lazy picking, then maybe we want to get that. Maybe you need to understand that with that type of ailment, you might not be physically strong enough to do certain jobs or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Or looking for attention when they express pain. This one is quite common though. Usually there are a lot of times when they don't bring you to the hospital as early as the crisis may start because they think that you are doing too much. Like takes more para. Yeah, I think there's a healthcare stigma, drug seeker labor. A major form of stigma occurs within medical settings where patients who need opioids for severe pain are often mistreated, ignored, or profiled as drug seekers or frequent flyers. Oh yeah, this is really a white man thing. Because they don't even give people opioids here. If they want to give you,
They do.
Yeah,
They do. Especially to these sick class, they give them.
Yeah, in very rare cases. I've actually seen that used probably once or twice in the whole time I've been in the hospital, and for all the sick class that we have treated, I gave them opioids like once or twice. First of all, because the opioids, we don't use opioids like that in Cameroon.
Yeah.
If you see opioids being used somewhere, that person is probably a cancer patient, terminally cancerous, and in crazy pain. So, social and cultural stigma due to chronic and sometimes visible symptoms of social disease. I say social disease. Patients face social exclusion and discrimination, particularly in dating and marriage, where they may be seen as a burden or having a low life expectancy.
You say it's just
in some
preference.
cultures, I look at this as a preference. If it is,
Okay.
yeah, well,
That's not stigma to you.
it's
According to you,
not
there's
because-
what stigma should not even
no,
exist.
because it's not because you understand that their significant other is going to be in the hospital all the time. You will have to be doing this all the time. If you understand that, I prefer not to go that route. It doesn't make you. It doesn't make you.
See, let me tell you something.
I wouldn't be calling that
In
stigma. I would
in
be
some
calling that a
places, some
preference.
people don't even educate their sick class children because they know they're gonna die soon. Do you know that? Yeah.
Because they die a lot now.
Yeah.
They die a lot before a certain age.
So they just know they're gonna die soon. So are you even counting this one month?
At least the good thing about sickle cell too is that I think there's a cure for sickle cell.
But it's kind of very costly, and it's not
Yeah.
even it's not a very feasible cure like
Yeah, you need to do
bone
a
marrow transplant. It's not.
yeah.
How many bone marrow transplants do they do in a year? Sef?
People should make money for bush. So
How many? Just to Google, how many people get a bone marrow transplant each year?
yeah, whatever.
You
I'm
will
sure
be
that-
less than 10 in the world.
I don't know
So
about
it's
that,
not
but
even.
Yes, yeah, but I think the one that really caught my eye was this stigma by association.
Is that
Family
not what I was
members,
telling you? How
family members, particularly mothers of children with sickle cell disease, often face blame, guilt, and social isolation in their communities. I
yeah,
think this is even
yeah,
a lot directed mostly towards like the mothers of the
yeah,
family,
yeah.
especially. And they're
I
like,
my cousin is a sickler, and I blame her mother and her father every day.
well, yeah, they knew what they were getting themselves into now.
No, not even that. She told me that she didn't get a diagnosis. Like they didn't do premarital screening. You know this
Oh,
kind of thing. You just get me the guy you people are dating
mm-hmm.
until for a very long time. You make your first child, the child is fine. You make the second one, the child is fine. Make your third child, the child is fine. On getting on the fourth one, the child is sickle cell, and you're like, what is this witchcraft? Before going to get a diagnosis, and you realize that people were first of all a very lucky couple to have made three. This place,
I mean, leave those mosquitoes in peace. We are friends.
they're
Don't
gonna bite me.
leave them in peace. We are friends. Don't make them to come and start attacking me after.
So she was rather a very lucky person to have had her first sickler as her fourth child,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was like, you're too educated. You're a PhD holder. I don't think someone was supposed to have told you this. I mean, the moment she had the child, there was this. She went on the family platform and she was like, "This is the doctor's diagnosis and not God." Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
She went on I think 40 days prayer and fasting. And all. I was like, "You're too educated for this." I mean,
Yeah. Anyways, I think Nora Brown had a comeback,
okay. Let's see what Nora Brown said.
and she was like,
She said,
"Oh,
"Let me read what she said." She said, I have seen a few comments because of a post I made trying to show light on stigmatization. I never said the lead guy was stigmatized, etc. I simply said maybe,
etc."
but that is a very high possibility. If I was a sickler, I don't think I would be out here telling people every day. Maybe now that I know better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I at least I am a medic. I I would want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Maybe I would say, but if imagine someone, a layman, it's not gonna be easy to just come out and say it like that's true, right?
Oh, well,
Okay.
yeah.
So he said, I never said the lead guy was stigmatized, etc. I simply said maybe he was and couldn't speak out. And I highlighted the dangers of keeping quiet. Now, this comment from Vicky Ayomide Fokala caught my attention and I will address it on my page. Now, I will repeat this. Vicky, if you are not a sickle cell patient, not a parent of a sickle cell patient, please do not try to water down our advocacy on stigmatization. And I'm with you on that one. If you've not, except the parents who suffer with these kids. Anyway, let's go. Stigmatization and sickle cell anemia is still an issue in African communities, and the way you responded is already stigma in itself. Yes, I am above 40 and I am still facing stigmatization. And to shock you, being above 40 doesn't stop you from dying of sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia gives rise to many other conditions like organ damage, instant blindness, acute bone damage, bone infections, hip necrosis, liver failure, heart weakening over time, etc. As long as you've got as long as you've got sickle cell in your blood, the effects of sickle cell stays with you for life until the day you die, and that is true. The battle is not over with myself, as I can have a brief crisis today and I will be gone. Every hospital admission, two questions go through my head. Will I come out alive or will I be gone? That's the reality I live with every sickle cell warrior lives with it too. You do not walk my journey. You do not go with me for job interviews. That's what I said. That is, an employer will not employ. It's true. You do not go with me to hospitals and hear what the nurses say when I am in pain. Yes, nurses, you know, especially Cameroonian nurses, they'll be like, and then they shout for they no, disturb man.
Well, they say that to everybody who is in pain and who is crying. So
It doesn't make it easier for a sickler.
It's not because you're a sickler that they do that.
You do not go with me to school. I could go on and on. You do not hear what men, women tell sickle cell warriors in the dating pool as well. The fact that you've used the word crybaby, you've simply labeled us who share our pain and the journeys on social media as crybabies and seeking for pity party, and that's sad coming from you. You've simply authenticated the existence of stigma. Of course. That means you see those of us who cry, share our pain on media to educate the masses on sickle cell anemia to be seeking for pity party and crying babies. It's for...
I will just even say one thing if I forget. The fact that people acknowledge the fact that you are a sickler and acknowledge that you are probably going to be weaker, you are probably going to not do as much work as a normal person, as a non-sickler is going to do. Me, I don't see me as stigmatization. It's like, yeah, it's hardship for you. It sucks for you, sure. But that's just life. To me, that is just life. Somebody is trying to protect their investment. He knows that whether you like it or not, he knows that you are not going to be a good investment as much as somebody who is not a sickler. That is just life. In dating, if they are not dating you because you are a sickle cell, you have sickle cell disease, it is not a knock on you. It is just the straw that you drew when you were coming out of your mother. That is just the way that it is. Maybe your attitude, your personality could shine further in order to change the mind of the person who is trying to date you or whatever. But me, I don't see that personally as stigmatization. I see that as somebody who has decided to do what their mind, to do something with to choose differently.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
It is. I'm not going to. If I were a business owner and I had a sickler in front of me, I'm not going to jeopardize my business because I want to be altruistic or because even if you are qualified, I still know that my business, you can get up.
But
I
yes,
can get up one
then
day
this
and
is
my
the
business-
discrimination they get to face.
Well, that's not discrimination. That is just life. That is just life. It's just like
That's how unfair life is to them. That's the stigmatization they're talking about.
Life is unfair to everybody.
But
Life
that's why I
is unfair
say
to
we
everybody.
all
Everybody
have
has their
our
own battles.
struggles. Life is hard, but it's 10 times harder for a sickler. That's what I said.
Right? It's just a different kind of heart. Well,
You're just another kind of Vicky Fokala.
it's just a different kind of heart. But
You're
it's
just
not
another kind of Vicky Fokala.
stigmatization.
That's
Yeah,
stigmatization.
it's not like I will not.
According to you, the word stigmatization should not even exist then. Because I don't know what then you would term as stigmatization.
No,
What
yeah,
then is stigmatization?
I think stigmatization is to come and painting your house with a red mark that evil spirit is living here. That would be stigmatization, and they're calling you evil spirit.
Do you know how many times? Do you know how many times in the past most sickle cell kids were kept beside the rivers to go that they came to eat money?
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that is the type of stigmatization.
So if it doesn't get to that level, it's not stigmatization.
No, it is. I don't think so.
You are not.
I think
Anyway,
actually, maybe this is a controversial opinion. There are so many people have become too soft. People have become too soft. You cannot mock people anymore. You cannot make fun of people anymore that are going to tell you that you are shaming them. Whether it's mocking people that are fat, they will tell you that you are fat phobic. Mocking people that
fat phobic.
yes,
What's fat phobic?
Yeah. I think there's a whole body
I understand what you're trying to
a
say,
body
but I don't think it's the
positivity
same thing for sickle cell. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I just think that sometimes
I understand what
people
you're
can
trying
be
to
too
say.
sensitive. Because there's some of these things that's why I was like, what are actually the things?
Do you know
of
when
stigma?
I think you should have used that for example? Sometimes people would do something. For example, let me say Nora Brown rather came online and she was insulting people for no reason, right? And then you want to say, but Nora, why are you being nonchalant? Why are you being this rude or whatsoever? And then she now says, don't talk to me like that, I have sickle cell. Then that was when I will understand what you were trying to say. But that was not the issue here.
Like look at her own example.
First of all, realize that this Nora Brown is an advocate.
Yeah.
She's a voice for sickle cell. So the only reason people have been dying on this social media. The only reason she made that post was because the person who died had to succumb to sickle cell crisis.
Yeah.
And yes, that's part of her advocacy.
Yeah,
and which is only the right thing to do.
Just imagine. That's why I said that people are too sensitive these days. Her own is that on this same media, a prophet told me in 2019 that I would die in 3 years because I used the word sickle cell goddess. Really? And that is stigmatization. Really?
Why would you say that to somebody
yes.
because she calls herself the sickle cell goddess?
Yeah, it's just like I would have come, I don't know, whatever, and someone said, had told me God had already punished you with sickle cell anemia, so I leave you to prayer warriors. Really? People cannot insult you again in peace. People cannot insult you again in peace. It's normal insult. It's not
really. So I'm sure that when you walk on the road and you see someone with a bad leg, you just go, yeah, ben foot, or yeah, have foot.
That is normal insult.
Really?
That is insult. It's just like this.
You're just a mean person. You're just someone who should work on your character.
If they see you with plenty score. Actually, that's the way that people insult people. That is why it is called an insult. It's just an insult. I think that's why I'm saying that people have become too super sensitive about everything. If they see you big head, they say you're big head. Do you want that they should call it a small head because you have big head? They should not comment about your head because you have a big head. So why do you have to be over super sensitive about that? So
do you know?
I think that's just.
Let me tell you something. It's not the same thing. I'm saying this because growing up, that's how they used to insult me. Big head. But I really don't care.
Right.
Do you understand? I mean, you've never insulted my big head, but I don't care because it doesn't. I don't even think about my head. Do you understand? But do you know what is sickle cell anemia? Oh God.
So yeah. So I think all of that. Those are like normal insults that they insult people.
Normal insult.
So me I don't see me why all these things. Yeah. So we have one of our returning viewers, King Walu Jaba.
Oh, hi, King Walu. Thank you for coming back this week. We've missed you though. What did he say this time?
King Walu Jaba says, what's that?
I think he was agreeing to something you said.
Yeah, he says sounds. I think I don't see why is it not showing up there? Anyways, King Walu Jaba says sounds harsh, but that's just reality. Yes, that's just reality. Sincerely, it's just reality.
This one says what? Even natures.
So even nature weeds out those who aren't physically
fit.
Yes, those who aren't physically fit.
Life is already hard to them, so should we make it harder?
That's just the hardness of life. that's just the hardness of life.
That's why there's empathy. Do you understand?
That's
why there's kindness. That's why kindness is a thing. Euphemism is still a thing. You don't just open your mouth to say things like what that man said to me. Imagine what that guy said to me, that they don't have that kind of sickness in their family. Imagine I was not one informed person. I was, and I really did like him. Imagine now, I would have been crying. And I was like, see this fool.
Yeah,
Where's the carry illiterate go?
Actually, he did you a favor.
What favor did he do for me?
He did you a favor by not moving ahead with the whole marriage thing. That
even if he did not do that, the marriage would still not have gone anywhere. But if in a case where the girl was really, really invested in that, do you know what it would have done to her mental health?
That's all speculation. But in any case,
what did this one say? That's Facebook.
No, that's Facebook, but that's for something else.
Okay.
Right. Anyways, people should just stop being super sensitive. We understand the plight of C class. We understand that yeah, there's some amount of stigmatization, but in the year 2026, yeah, that stigmatization we should check different things. We should go and check for female genital mutilation, and we should fight against female
Of
genital
course, we're fighting
mutilation.
female genital mutilation. Maybe we should talk about that next time.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, stigmatization for C class, I don't think that's so much of a thing now.
Anyway, you're just another Vicky. I mean, Vicky, you've
I
got
just
your accomplice here.
I just think that we should have thicker skin. We should just have thicker
Yeah,
skin. And
I'm gonna use this words on you one day,
this might be
especially when you're in pain. I come and be like, "You really doing that? You should have thick skin, Nick. You should
Yeah,
really
well,
have thick skin."
they think I really don't go to the hospital like that. Why? Because I don't get sick like that.
Congratulations, lucky you.
And not that
Are you AS?
because no, I don't know. I don't even know.
And you're a medical doctor and you don't know.
Yeah, whatever. When I
That's a shame. How shameful.
yeah, when I'll start thinking about marriage, then I'll go and do that.
Why do
with
you?
our
You could
marriage
just
thing.
get one random girl pregnant, you know.
Nah, I don't get random people pregnant.
Mistakes happen.
I was like, nah. With all the forms of contraception that there is,
Anyway, thank God that you subscribe to contraceptives.
all the forms of contraception that there is, you don't just be getting people pregnant like that. Ça c'est pas bien ça. On ne fait pas ça. On ne
Okay.
fait pas ça aux gens. Anyways, now let's leave from very somber topics and go to something a lot more exciting. Let's go to something a lot more exciting because all these things are making we don't know. Yeah, and yeah, what are we talking about now? Yes, we are going to our big boy. There's a big boy in town. There's something that has been trending throughout these times in our culture these days. And we have this our guy who decided that he's going to go and propose to his side. Is it his side chick or his
I don't know. This to me, this just looks like stunts,
Anyways,
publicity
let's
stunts,
see.
PR.
So trending
I
in
don't know.
Cameroon. Cameroonian artist Shoyo was disgraced in Douala earlier today when his secret lover, Danisara, rudely turned down his marriage proposal. Yes, I'm in the mood for a little bit of gossip. So this is the video.
The fact that the mall was already commenting.
Give me commentary. Oh my god. Oh.
C'est une surprise. C'est une surprise. C'est un événement inédit. Salut, à mon avenir.
I have the strength of speaking that this is sometimes. It's sometimes. This is so reminiscent of all of these small movies that we watch on that have
It looks
watch
so
on
staged.
Facebook all the time.
I don't even find it interesting. It looks so fake.
Yeah, but then again, what I was want to ask, what do you think about surprise proposals?
No, there's nobody who's going to propose to me. So if you do this thing to me, I will not marry you. This is manipulative. This is very deceptive. Any man doing this thing, I mean, this content, right? But
Yeah.
in real life, a man who do this to you, surprise people, come to a wife, is just a manipulator. He knows that you will not want to embarrass you both there, and then you just take it. If you want to propose to me, I will even know. We would have had that discussion several times. You can you can do it at dinner. You can do it when I'm in the house. Come to a public place full of strangers to come and prove your fake love. I will not take that thing. You is stealer.
No, but hey, we should encourage some of these our men. They should be doing more, more public proposals.
So, do you like public? Are you gonna propose to her publicly?
Nah.
You're a shy guy, by the way.
That's corny as fuck. That's super corny. I don't know why people. Even though, please, you people should call. I am a photographer. When you want to do,
we are ready to
proposal,
cover. We're gonna
please,
cover it.
Yes, call me. I'm not that expensive, so call me. Let us come and cover it. Let us cover the fete. We are very good. Just had not prepared for it. I would have shown you people some pictures from proposals that we have done before. They organize. In fact, I know very good organizers of nice proposals. Proposals that.
No, in one Santa Lucia joint.
Yeah, when I saw that it was in the supermarket, I was just like, this is super crazy. They just want to make a lot of content. Well, they're giving people content to react to. They're giving people content to react to in Cameroon. We really don't have this type of content in Cameroon like that.
Amongst the content I could react to, the last would be Danizara content or so I don't really care, but I don't care for them.
People should be getting married. I think the message they're sending is nice. People should get married. We need more people getting married. We don't need people in secret relationships.
You're not even married.
We don't need people in secret relationships. If I were in a relationship, I would not be in a secret relationship.
Okay, it's gonna be public.
Yes.
You're gonna start.
Well, it's going to be public.
You're gonna go to Monphobe and be like,
it's going to be public to a certain extent. It's not as if I'll come on the internet and be putting my relationship on the internet.
That's great.
I don't even think that people should be putting their relationships on the internet. That's the worst place to be putting your relationships. So don't put your relationships on the internet.
Don't do that shit.
Yes.
You know like it. It's not gonna end well.
Yep. Yeah, and the other thing.
Let's read some comments. So them come out for their limbe for come do this their nonsense for Bonaberry. Make them make this their nonsense for limbe quietly.
This is there for studio then. Come out there for flash there for studio.
Chai, men should stop proposing in public. I beg. Dressing na off. Plaster for jaw. Earring, kneeling down on tools, so they walk out on knees. Then plus war. Gosh. Okay. Nick stepped out for a blue, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's get more comments. Let's see this one. Lindsay says, dressing. Okay, we'll forget that one. The camera people need for cover Pope if to Cameroon. They collaborated so well. Of course, they did. It was content, so they were prepared for that.
Yeah. Yes, they come to give us content.
And yeah,
the fear of proposing in public
in
now is beginning. The beginning of wisdom in Cameroon. People don't be proposing in public. We don't. This is white man thing. People should leave white man things to white man. Black people think.
You just go to the girl's house with the.
No, the way that this thing has to actually happen is, you have to sit with your woman in the house.
Mm-hmm.
People talk things over, and you're like.
But that's what I'm saying.
I've decided that
any boy who does this rubbish has not been a good boyfriend or spouse, and he just wants to manipulate you into getting into marriage. God forbid, my sister, begin to reject it, begin to cast it and bind it by fire.
Yeah, no, but the other thing too is that women have become too rude these days. Because even if I were a woman, the fact that you accept a proposal doesn't mean that you have to go.
Why should I do that to condole?
No, if it's in public, I believe that any
I will
proposal,
not
which,
accept anything in
any,
public to deny in private.
any
If you
proposal which
propose
is
to
done
me
in
in public and I'm not gonna marry you, I'm not gonna marry you, and I will tell you there and then. I will not be Danizara to lay hands on anybody because I mean I'm well brought
Oh
up.
yeah, that was
but,
the other thing I was talking about, being very rude.
But I'm
If
not
you had
gonna
to even
collect no ring
refuse,
from you. I'm
don't-
gonna tell you. You should stop embarrassing me and stop embarrassing yourself. Get up on your feet. Let's walk out of this place like two mature people.
Yeah, but don't be slapping people in
And be
public.
rest assured, this is the last time we're gonna be walking out as a couple.
Yeah, but actually, first of all, I believe that if you are being proposed in public, please first take the ring.
Don't do that
Then
thing.
go and give it back.
That
to
is
him
the
after.
deception we are talking about. Don't do it. I don't subscribe to violence. Violence in every totality of itself should be
You should
condemned.
bend down and tell him.
Don't
his ear
hit
is like
nobody. Don't hit a man for no reason. But don't take that ring.
that. You should bend
Don't
down
do
and tell
that.
him in his ear that this is your proposal that I don't accept.
Why?
That I'm going to take it
Why
so
should
that-
you go
so
that
I'm not
extent
go-
for him?
So that I'm not
He
going
is
to
a
disgrace you.
narcissist. That's why he's doing what he's doing. You're not the one to massage his ego. Tell him there and then, I'm not doing this with you. We slept on the same bed this night. We woke up, you didn't say, don't try this thing with me.
Yes, now maybe he thought that you were ready.
That's when you're gonna know why God gave you two middle fingers. You could just
Maybe he thought that you were ready.
I was ready.
He's not supposed to shoot your. If you are already in a quasi long-term relationship, why should you not?
If it's that kind of relationship, then you obviously have had those talks before.
You'll be surprised the amount of people who don't even talk about those things. But yeah, a woman should stop being so brutal.
Yeah,
Brutality doesn't.
not
look good on
women,
you guys.
people should find a way. I mean, I just hate the fact that people are just temperamental. Or I hate violence. Like I cannot even deal with someone who is too loud. I don't even like anybody raising their voice. Not to talk of raising their hands. I mean, in 2026, nah.
This is a painful reminder that assumptions can be louder than reality. One person is writing forever.
The
other
other
person
person
is
no
really
strings
attached. Define the relationship early so you don't propose in public. What was never agreed in private, right? They always strong back foot for that girl. No doubt she decided to go back for the slap. She was like, nah, we are going to show you how masculine we are. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, people should stop being super aggressive. That kind of aggressiveness is not
telling you.
nice. It's not nice. Danizara. Even though, yeah. But the funny thing too is that even though it's clearly a skit,
Right. It's
clearly a skit, I don't think, who knows, maybe they're also doing it to legitimize their backside thing that they're doing and to come and put it as if no, it was just a skit and then whatever. They can be doing it just to legitimize that. But then again, at the same time, even if it were a skit, if there was one party man that was looking at Danizara as in, I might want to propose to this girl, he might be thinking twice now. She might have just shot herself in the foot. She's now known as that girl who slapped Shoyo because they were proposing to her.
She's a content creator. She's a media personality, so she knows what this.
Well, yeah, she might have. That's what I'm saying. She might have just shot herself in the foot.
I don't think
put-
she has. She's very much aware of things like this. She even said in a post that the Shoyo knows who she's dating.
Well, yeah. If she's saying that, that means that she's the type of person who will be slapping people in public. Who will slap her man in public. Maybe today it is because of fake proposal. Tomorrow people might just have a problem and you are talking in the restaurant and she gets up and throws water on you. Or she gets up and slaps you in the restaurant. And believe me, there's always going to be footage of that. So she might have just shot herself in the foot for actually somebody who might have been looking at her seriously. Except or unless she's already married. But if that was a stunt that they thought of doing, I don't think she's married now. But yeah. So even being being a celebrity doesn't give you all the all the impetus or whatever to do all those type of things. It can just come and kick you, sue the foot. Oh yeah, and also it also even shows how women do not understand violence, because this is another blog here, Kimbi's blog. He said, I swear, if I were a man and took my time and proposed to a girl, instead of her saying no peacefully, she decided to make her stupidity loud by slapping me. Bro, I will first keep that ring for them and beat the out of don't beat the woman, care. In this case, she needs correction. I didn't finish this. Anyways, yeah. Don't be violent to people that you know that their one backhand is probably going to send you 6 feet.
Don't be violent.
Voilà.
Doesn't matter to who.
Yes, no violence to nobody. So yep, so that was that for our fun time for today. That was that for our fun time for today. So I don't know that's a crazy story. So I think the last oh yeah. What was this again?
Jehovah's Witnesses used
Yeah. You like church things. You like religion things. You like church things, and so there's a new thing about religion out here, which our share brought to our attention. Apparently, Jehovah Witness has decided that they don't want to Jehovah Witness again as much.
Jehovah's Witnesses used to refuse blood transfusions, even in life or death situations, and this started decades ago. But in 2026, something changed. Blood transfusion refusal started in 1945, nearly 80 years ago, even though the movement originated in the 1870s. In 1945, the Watchtower magazine first introduced the ban as a divine command. And in 1961, the policy was reinforced by threatening to disfellowship members who accepted blood transfusion. So the question now is, why didn't Jehovah's Witnesses accept blood transfusion? To them, blood is sacred and blood is life. You can pause and read. But as of March 2026, Jehovah's Witnesses updated their policy to permit members to accept their own blood during surgical procedures.
Therefore, after much prayer and consideration of the scriptures, the governing body has decided to clarify our position on the use of a patient's own blood in medical and surgical care. The clarification is this: each Christian must decide for himself how his own blood will be used in all medical and surgical care. This includes whether to allow his own blood to be removed, stored, and then given back to him.
Which means you can store and reinfuse your own blood during surgical procedures. However, the organization is still against receiving blood from other people. Share your thoughts in the comments, and for more videos like this, stick with the home of pop culture, Pulse Nigeria.
Voila. So Jehovah Witness has decided that you can transfuse blood now.
The first question is, if people actually hear from God, then is this how God changes his mind?
How do you mean that this is how God changes his mind?
No, because when they came the first time and said, you're not going to have a blood transfusion, it was God who said it, according to them, right? It was a revelation. It was a divine revelation.
Yeah.
So is this how God changes his mind? I think he's supreme, he's all-knowing, and so after watching people dying for decades and heavy criticisms, he then decided to...
First of all, I don't really subscribe to the beliefs of Jehovah Witness. So I'm just like, this is a little bit too contradictory for me. I actually even think that that was a very stupid way of looking at blood transfusion. It's like, come on now. So I don't even know the why they do not allow blood transfusion. I don't. If you are saying blood is divine or blood is whatever, then
blood is sacred.
Blood is sacred. Would that not be like the most intimate thing or the most selfless thing to use it to save somebody's life? Like you are using this sacred thing to save someone. That is tantamount to like a miracle, right?
Well,
So
because there's no other liquid that could have done that except that most precious secret.
yeah, so I don't. It doesn't even make sense to me. Maybe that is something that we don't really know. So let me ask. Let's ask our friend.
ChatGPT.
I've been looking for that. Okay, this is our chat. Let us ask ChatGPT
Why?
why Jehovah Witnesses are not even used to. Why do Jehovah Witness do not
Tomorrow we're gonna spray
condone
this studio.
not
So many mosquitoes.
Yep. Yeah. Oopsie. I guess our friend chat says, the Jehovah's Witness do not accept blood transfusion primarily because of their religious interpretation of the Bible. Biblical basis, their core reason. They believe certain Bible verses command Christians to abstain from blood, including Genesis 9:4. You must not eat meat, and seriously,
That has its.
blood is sacred and must not be consumed. Seriously. Are you oh, I don't die. Christians are told to abstain from, really, this is crazy. Is this the basis? I don't die.
That's it.
Jehovah's Witness interpret these verses to mean that taking blood into the body is in any way, including transfusion, is wrong, not just eating it. So Jehovah's Witness is not supposed to eat meat.
That has blood in it. So when you kill the animal, you make sure to drain out all the blood, and then you cook it.
Even when you cook it, there's still blood there.
I don't know what they think.
They believe blood represents life, which belongs to God. Misusing blood is seen as disrespecting God's gift of life. Yeah, this is like the most.
If this is let's even say, if this is really God, that would see mankind trying to survive and be like, no, don't survive, just die. Would you really want to worship that God?
No, it's not even like, if they say misusing blood is seen as disrespecting God's gift of life. Blood transfusion is not misusing blood.
That's what I'm wondering.
That is actually using blood to save life, which God gave. Right? God has given us the sense to know that you can take this blood
4
and
years
give
ago.
it to this person, and then you save that person's life.
4 years ago, my cousin died. She died from sickle cell. She even died from anemia. She was a sickle cell patient, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Adeline. Your soul, rest in peace, Adeline. She had lived most of her life in the UK. That was where she joined the Jehovah Witnesses. And so she started taking supplements. She had, their medicine is really advanced, so they have a lot of supplements.
Mm-hmm.
So she went there at about the age of 8, 9. And before she came back here in her mid-20s, she had joined them around the time she became an adult. And she started, so she had a lot of supplements. She used to go there, she brings it, and then she gives to other sicklers who were also there in Bamenda at the time. She formed her small community and she was soliciting aid from the UK and growing her non-governmental organization made of only sicklers. She served as a backbone to that community because her supplements were really effective and they were expensive. But those people could have access to it because her NGO could subsidize them and give them for free. And so she was really influential back then in my 4. A very beautiful girl. And she was 32 and she was a virgin. She had never had a relationship, probably because due to the stigmatizations and everything. So there was this guy in church. Of course,
Jehovah Witness.
yeah, she was a Jehovah Witness there, so she came here and she was a guy who had almost nothing doing. He just woke up to her and was like, I want to marry you. I don't know if it was out of desperation. She too accepted to marry the guy. She bought a taxi for the guy also.
Oh, big mistake.
They were living together. They got married. We attended the wedding. We were happy. Less than 5 months after the wedding, she got pregnant. And we were like, wow, was so happy for you. God just blessed this union so quick. You know how much
It's very delicate when you're a sickler.
exactly. Even for normal people, they suffer anemia issues in pregnancy. Then talking more of a sickler. She kept on taking those supplements to supplement her blood supplements to supplement her during the pregnancy because she could not do a transfusion. She even had to include traditional supplements. I will see her using herbs and all the like just to make up for blood.
Yeah.
So when it was about time for
delivery,
she knew that she could not have a vaginal birth. Of course, no doctor is going to subject a sickler to labor pain. So she was already booked for her CS. And the doctor had told her that you will need a transfusion. You and I know that most operations always need blood transfusion. Most, especially abdominal. So they had already told her that you will need it. She came back. She started praying. She was praying. She was binding it. She was canceling it. She was drinking cassava leaves. She was drinking these leaves. She was taking supplements and all. She will not need a transfusion. And it was a date for her CS. She went to the hospital and they were like, "You're gonna need a transfusion." She said, "No." They had to do the CS without a transfusion. After the CS, the baby came out. Beautiful girl. They told her, "You need a transfusion." She said no. She kept on calling. We watched that girl die. And she was so sensitive. We asked the doctor if they could not do it by force. And he was like, no, it's against medical ethics. If she doesn't accept, as long as she's in all consciousness, they can't give her blood.
Yeah, I think...
and we watched her die there. The husband was there, guarding everywhere. They will not give her. They will not give her. I hate that man. I still do till today. They will not give her. No, he will not go anywhere because he's scared that he might go somewhere and one of the family members will
come and give consent.
Exactly. He will not go anywhere. No, I am the husband. That girl died leaving behind her few days old baby because she had a blood clot somewhere in the brain and all. Yeah. She finally died. And she was buried, and she left all those her children, her sickle cell children in Bamenda to just wallow in.
You know, I think this is a question for medical doctors out there. What would you do if you have a pregnant patient who is a sickler about to give birth with CS and they refuse transfusion? What is really the remedy there? Do you just, knowing fully well that if she doesn't get the blood, she may die, do you go ahead with the CS and not do the transfusion, or what do you really do? What's the way forward? Because I would probably think that if where she was going for antenatals and stuff like that, they would have told her that from the very get-go.
She knew.
Yeah.
And that's why she was taking the supplements.
Yeah, and to actually get like the consent of that even before that, because if you are not going to get transfusion in that kind of a delivery, I don't think you should go forward with the pregnancy.
She was so confident that God was gonna see her through because God said that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that is something that they take account of that.
The doctor could not have. The doctor would not make her get an abortion or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that it's really a conundrum for doctors. And I would like if there's any doctor who says this to kind of tell us the.
Why would you die for someone who cannot save you? Why? I mean, let's just use basic logic. Why would you die for it? 'Cause if he was that powerful, he wouldn't save you. Let you die, leaving your few days old baby to a cruel fate. We all know what it means to grow up in this world without a mother, and you never got a chance to be a mother to your child because you're pleasing a God. You really think this all-loving God will wish that for you? And now let's come back to this. This God, why does he keep changing his mind? He has now asked you people to, I mean, you can, how do we put it? Is it making,
You can do auto transfusions now.
yeah, I mean, like,
That's what I'm talking.
is it that you're making preparations for rainy days, or what would that mean? Like you can now get
Auto transfusion.
blood what it means is, like, if you're healthy, you go get an extraction.
It's called auto transfusion.
And then you leave it there. Or why will you keep it? Because the blood is kept in the blood bank. If you work in the hospital, you know that the blood is all blood that is donated to the hospital is kept in the blood bank. And when it is being taken out, it's indiscriminate. We don't even keep blood with names on it. No. When we at the phlebotomy, excuse me.
Yeah, I think
when we're extracting blood, we don't even label the backs.
You know, I think
with names.
I think
so how would you know? Or you keep in your house?
I think this is just one way to tell the Jehovah Witness people to stop dying from because of blood transfusions.
Because I'm here to understand how this is gonna work. You're gonna.
Because the one thing that can actually happen now is that you can go and do like a blood drive or whatever, and they still tell you that it's your blood that you came and gave in that hospital. That's what they're using on you, even if it is not the exact blood that is coming from you.
Thank you.
So how are you going to know whether it is your blood or it is not your blood? So that is one thing. Unless you are going to.
And there's is there a hospital that's gonna subscribe to that first of all? Or is it gonna be a Jehovah Witness hospital?
Yeah, maybe they should open Jehovah Witness hospital.
Because when you're going, if you've ever worked in the hospital, you understand what I'm saying. If there is need for blood, you are going to the bank to look for AB or to look for B or to look for. You're not going there to look for one person's blood. You're just going to there to see if there's going to be a match for this person sick.
Yeah.
And you start doing your how do they call it, agglutination test or whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody is there to check who.
I see the crazy thing about this stuff, because I was just looking again at the reasons why they are refusing blood, and this is what I think is very pernicious. They are like, it's a personal and serious commitment. For practicing Jehovah Witnesses, refusing blood is considered an act of faith and obedience, which is like an act of stupid.
I'm telling you.
An act of stupid. I actually think if you are refusing blood, especially if you are the husband and you are refusing blood for your wife,
you're a very wicked man. You do not love.
That's
That's what I said. That man did not love that woman to begin with.
I think you're a murderer.
Very wicked man.
Especially when, because I would probably even consider that. I think maybe medical doctors probably even consider that she's in an altered mental state in order to make such a decision.
But I will not watch my wife suffer like that.
And so if the person who is the caretaker is actively refusing you life-saving treatment, that is murder.
That means he's waiting for you to die. That's why he's because he knows that you cannot make it without blood. He's waiting for you to die.
I think I would consider that as murder. I don't know. It should be.
See, let me tell you something. There was this lady, right, who grew up beside us there in Bambili. She was a grandson. We were really young at that time. So at the time, I didn't quite understand. But now that I've grown, I've understood what was happening then. So that she was pregnant, and then she hid it. You know how terrible girls were treated back then when they got pregnant out of wedlock. So she was hiding it from her parents and everybody.
Yeah.
And then she was
There
trying
was
to
a certain
find,
stigmatization.
yeah,
There
and she was trying to
stigma.
find ways to deal with it. And then it felt like she resulted in some sort of concoctions, maybe traditional concoctions that she took. And as of the time, the pregnancy was already about 5 months pregnant.
Yikes.
So she took it. She took that substance, and for like 2 days, she didn't get any bleeding there.
Yeah.
So it shows that the baby died inside. The babies, because it was twins, they died inside,
damn.
and then they began to rot.
Began to rot.
And then she was keeping till she had to collapse. When she was rushed to the hospital, they realized that was what was done. So they had to perform a DNC to clean it up. They performed it. It was so complicated that she needed blood. And then there were Jehovah's Witnesses. So her parents said no, they cannot give her blood. And she too, out of shame of what she had done to her parents, she did not want to take blood because she knew that it was left to her. She was an adult. I think she was about 18 or so then.
Yeah.
So she could have accepted blood, and the voice of her parents would not have any impact.
Any say, yeah.
Yes. So she did not want to say yes because she knew how disappointed and angry her parents already are with what she's done. So she had to deny the blood just to please them. And then at the point when the father saw his daughter going, the father was a pastor, Jehovah's Witness pastor. He accepted that give her the blood. He could not bear his child die. The mother said over her dead body, and the child died.
Wait, what?
I'm telling you.
Wait, the pastor who is the father,
Yes,
who is like
at the
head of
point,
the family,
yes,
says that they should give the child blood, and the woman says that they should,
over
and
her
then they
dead
hear
body.
by the woman.
This is why you're fighting against.
No, you see where you see how I said that so many things in this world, even right up to the life of somebody, they want to look at it through the woman's lens. They want to be pleased. They want to
And
please
she
the
died.
woman and all. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Yo.
I mean,
Anyways, I just think that's the whole thing. Even this,
religion is deadlier than cancer. If you
yeah, I don't know what Jehovah's Witnesses actually think about this their new thing. I'm sure maybe the more
But
sensible ones.
thank
are going to be
God, their
happy
God
about
has
it.
started to change his mind small. There will be a day he's gonna be like, "You supposed to take blood and leave me alone."
Yeah, who knows? Anyways, for all those Jehovah's Witnesses out there, you should tell us what you think about the new thing that you people's leader.
And I was
Let me
like,
know how.
so which is worse? Is an aborting 5 months, 2 weeks old babies and receiving blood, which is worse? Apparently, it is receiving blood.
Yeah, let them get out. All these things that I just consider it as murder. This is murder. And if you don't think so, then you probably have a problem. So, anyways, I think we have come to the end of of our program today. Of this, I don't know whether we are going to be calling this thing a podcast or what. In fact, anyways, this is Chap Nic Reacts.
We've come to the end of our life for today. And see you next week, Tuesday, same time. It's always 7 p.m., right, Nick?
Yes, 7 p.m.
It's always me and Nick every 7 p.m. to talk about everything that's happening on our media space. And we expect you to react because your comments keep the show going.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye. Bye-bye to everyone. Toko.
Oh,
Now we need to stop.
Maybe I'm gonna spray this place too. Mosquito. It's been biting my legs.
Okay. You actually had
What did he say? Let's get
that brighter. So why are you not thinking about
Marriage now.
ah?
We actually met here in Yaoundé at a wedding. We went somewhere around Bankolo.
We met by the sunset at Bankolo's glow. Your eyes caught mine. We started to flow with whispers of love that tasted so.
I officially knew he was the one in the month of